Hey, welcome to the Art Project. I'm so glad you clicked on my video. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'll tap on that bell, you'll get notifications of future videos. So this project that I'm working on right now is actually a repeat of a project that I just did in another video. Now, I'm doing a repeat because I wanted my students to see more than one way of doing the same project. So in the other one, I traced my profile. I used a projector to project my profile onto a piece of newsprint paper, and then I cut the newsprint out, and I had a little template to go by. I laid that template on this piece of drawing paper, traced it, and now I'm going to fill the inside with pages from this comic book. The name of the comic book was War Strike. I don't know that it's very famous or that anybody's ever heard of it, and that was just fine by me because I didn't want anybody to look at my picture and think that, hey, he's showing his favorite character, Superman or Batman or any of that stuff. I wanted it to be relatively unknown. I also cut the comic book up into strips so that you couldn't look at it and say, okay, well, Chad Brown's life is all about this particular scene in this particular comic book where he like saves the day or something. I didn't want all of that. I just wanted you to see the beautiful colors and the wonderful illustration in comic books, and maybe associate that with me. Otherwise, it's maybe a little bit impersonal because I tried to do this quickly and use what I had on hand, which was a lot of comic books. We got a lot of these comic books from a local comic book shop. They gave us boxes and boxes and boxes of them. They just donated them to us, and that came in really handy. And we've been using it a lot here at my high school that I teach at the high school that I teach at. So anyway, basically that's what I'm doing. I cut it into strips, and I started off at a 45-degree angle, and then each time I lay down the strips, I put my template over it, and I trace with like a blue ballpoint pen the edge of it. I cut it out, and then I glue it down with a glue stick. Now, one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because this particular project is about line, shape, and texture. And there are so many ways that you could do the texture part of it, and I'm probably choosing one of the more obscure ways to do it. So like texture, as you know, is the way something feels. Maybe like if you were to draw hair, or if you were to draw like a brick wall or something like that. But I didn't do that. I filled it with just sort of some substance, some comic book pages, sort of to get the effect of well, not so much the effect of anything, but that there was something there, that it was of more interest than just I don't know what I'm trying to say. It was more interesting than just hair or brick wall or something else. Now you could fill this with the texture of like a brick wall. You could do a rubbing or something like that with some crayon. Maybe do a watercolor wash over the crayon. You could draw, whatever you want to. And one of my students is doing like a geode. The crystals inside of a geode inside of her portrait, and it's starting to look really, really good. And I would love to show you all that one sometime. I'm excited about how hers may turn out. But I didn't do that. I'm just filling mine with some comic book. Now, for the outside, I'm going to do line. And I came up with a pattern that I liked, and I drew it in the background. And you'll see this come through in a minute. And then, of course, shape is really just the shape of my face. So in this one project, I'm covering line, which is the background, shape, which is the portrait or the profile, and texture, which is what I'm doing inside of the profile. For this one, I'm doing everything on the one piece of drawing paper. I have traced my profile, and I'm filling it in, and then also filling in the background with the line. Well, in my other project, I did it on two separate sheets of paper. I did the line in the background, and I did it all, on one piece of paper, and then I traced my profile on another piece of paper, cut it out, and glued it down after having painted it and done some other things to it. You had to watch that video. I'll try and leave a link to it somewhere on this video where you can just click it and see. Anyway, like I said before, I want my students to just see that there's another way to do this project. What you choose to do for your project is totally up to you. Obviously, you need to keep it within reason. We don't want to set fire to the paper or spread anything gross on it, like, I don't know, food or slices of pizza. But whatever you want to do, think outside the box. Fill your profile with something and then do line in the background. There's all sorts of things that you could do. I was going to do so the background is black and white. I thought about doing it black and gray, but after finishing up the black and looking at it, I kind of liked the way it was, and I left it at that. In my other picture, I did black with a watercolor wash of red, orange, and red. Well, anyway, you think about how you want to do it. Work it out in your sketchbook, make a plan, and like I said, you can pretty much do anything that you want to do. By the way, probably another thing I should mention is the hard work that was put into this. Obviously gluing down all of those strips didn't happen as fast as it looks like it did in the video. Filling in all of these stripes and making them look the way they need to look, nice and clean, didn't just happen on its own. It actually took me probably 2 or 3 hours to do everything that you will see in the finished product. And the point that I want to make here is that any kind of artwork that's any good is usually going to take a lot of work. It's not going to happen in one class period. It's not going to happen in one day, unless you just work straight through, I guess. It usually takes some time. Sometimes you even have to leave it alone and let it dry and come back and work on it the next day. But anyway, this is my project, and I use this Sharpie marker and this white Faber-Castell paint pen. This white Faber-Castell paint pen is the point of it's a little bit blunt. It's been kind of smashed, but that's okay. It left a nice big line around it, and I think overall it turned out pretty good. The white line helped to separate the textured profile from the rest of the picture. So that's it. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Go make some art.